When a life jacket washed ashore in a Russian lake, it attracted more attention than millions of other items that have been found near water. In fact, it triggered a huge investigation that revealed an ancient tunnel of an unknown civilization. Who wore this lost jacket? What became of them? And how is the life jacket connected to a tunnel linked to an unknown civilization? Join us as we dive into the discovery of this ancient tunnel. A mysterious event occurred in the suburbs near Solnechnogorsk in 2003. Vladimir Sachenko, the Vershenskiie village administration's driver, discovered a full-time US Navy life vest in Lake Endless. What was shocking was that the vest had an identification inscription confirming that this property belonged to sailor Sambalowski of the Destroyer Cowell, which was bombed in October 2000 in the port of Aden in Yemen. 4 sailors were tragically killed, and 10 others, including Sambalowski, went missing. The life jacket was discovered according to a survey of direct witnesses and participants in the described event, and the inscriptions on it directly point to the sailor Cowell Spalowski. But how did a life jacket from the Indian Ocean end up in a lake lost in the vast expanses of central Russia? Despite having traveled 4,000 kilometers in 3 years in a straight line, what was its route? As a result, some scientists concluded that there are some unknown underground paths and tunnels connecting deep underground parts of the Earth's continents. But who created these tunnels? When were they created? And why? Many researchers on different continents have repeatedly noted that in addition to subway tunnels, bunkers, mines, and natural caves, there are underground cavities created by civilizations that predated modern humans. These exist not only as massive underground halls whose walls are processed by mechanisms unknown to us, with traces of secondary natural processes like stalactites, stalagmites, cracks, and so on, but also as linear structures, tunnels. In fact, the beginning of the 21st century is marked by an increase in the frequency of finds of tunnel fragments on various continents. Identifying ancient tunnels is a difficult task that necessitates extensive knowledge of underground work techniques, as well as mechanisms involved in the transformation of the Earth's crust and underground spaces throughout our planet's history. However, this procedure is quite real, given that the main difference between ancient tunnels and natural modern underground cavities is that, strangely, many of these ancient man-made pathways are distinguished by their perfection and amazing accuracy in processing the walls and their orientation. They're also notable for their enormous cyclopean dimensions and antiquity beyond human comprehension. However, it cannot be argued that they all appeared at the same time. Here are some ancient tunnels that researchers have dug up. The marble cave located on the Chatterdag mountain range at an elevation of 900 meters above sea level is well known in Crimea. When entering the cave, visitors are greeted by a massive hole in the shape of a 20-meter-long pipe, which is currently half filled with stone blocks that have collapsed due to numerous earthquakes and flooded with karst sediments. Stalactites dangle from cracks in the arch, and stalagmites stretch towards them, creating a spellbinding effect. Few people noticed that it was originally a tunnel with perfectly even walls that extended deep into the mountain range with a slope towards the sea. Amazingly, the walls are well preserved and show no signs of erosion. A section of the tunnel begins at an altitude of about 1 kilometer from the Black Sea. Given that the Black Sea Depression formed around 30 million years ago as a result of the fall of a large asteroid that cut and destroyed the main ridge of the Crimean Mountains, we can assume that the Marble Cave is a fragment of an ancient tunnel, the main part of which was located in a mountain range destroyed by an asteroid and dating back at least 30 million years. According to the most recent reports from the Crimean speleologists, a massive cavity has been discovered beneath the Petri mountain, which picturesquely hangs over Alapka and Simas. These tunnels connect Crimea and the Caucasus. Ufologists in the Caucasus region discovered the tunnels beneath the Uvarov Ridge, opposite Mount Eris, one of which leads to the Crimean Peninsula, and the other stretches to the Volga region via the cities of Krasnodar, Yeysk, and Rostov-on-Don. A branch-off was also found in the Krasnodar region. Unfortunately, the expedition members did not provide any additional details. Also, the well-known Medvedskaya Ridge, located in the Volga region, was recently examined in great detail during expeditions. The result was the discovery of a vast network of tunnels spanning tens of kilometers, which has been mapped. The tunnels have a circular, sometimes oval, cross-section with a diameter of 7 to 20 meters, a constant width along the entire length, and a direction at a depth of 6 to 30 meters from the surface. As travelers approach the hill on the ridge, the diameter of the tunnels grows from 20 to 35 meters, then 80 meters, and at the highest elevation, the diameter of the cavities reaches 120 meters, turning under the mountain and ending in a massive hole. From here, 3 tunnels branch off at different angles. Not only can you get to Crimea from here, but you can also get to Russia's northern region Novaya Zemlya and then link up with an alley to the North American continent. Some people believe the tunnels are currently operational and are used as transportation arteries and bases by UFO devices. In fact, in his book The Legend of LSP, P.N. Sachenko believes that our entire planet, including Crimea, Altai, the Urals, Siberia, and the Far East, is riddled with tunnels. It's just a matter of locating them. And in most cases, this discovery happens by chance. For example, Yevgeny Chesnikov, a resident of the Eleskinsky village of Salyavnoy in the Voronezh region, fell into a hole in a meadow, which turned out to be a cave with tunnels diverging in different directions and symbols on the walls. But that is not all about the mysterious tunnels underground. There is this vertical shaft that has long been known in the Caucasus in the gorge near Galanzak. People who have seen it say it is straight like an arrow with a diameter of about 1.5 meters and a depth of more than 100 meters. Furthermore, its surface is smooth, as if the walls were melted at some point. The scientific study of their properties revealed that thermal and mechanical effects responded to the walls at the same time, resulting in a crust 1 to 1.5 millimeters thick in the rock, giving it extremely durable properties that cannot be created even with current technological development. And the fusion of the walls indicates its technogenic origins. Furthermore, intense radiation was detected in the shaft. This could be one of the vertical trunks connecting with a horizontal tunnel connecting this region to the Volga region to the ridge mentioned earlier. It is known that in the post-war years, the USSR Council of Ministers issued a secret resolution on the construction of a tunnel through the Tartar Strait to connect the mainland with a railway to Sakhalin. The secrecy gradually went away, and a doctor of physical and mechanical sciences, Alice Berman, who worked there at the time, told the Voronezh branch of Memorial in 1991 in her memoirs that the builders were not so much building as rebuilding the already existing tunnel laid in antiquity, extremely competently in fact, taking into account the geology of the strait bottom. Strange finds in the tunnel, such as incomprehensible mechanisms and petrified animal remains, were also mentioned. All of this then vanished in secret special services bases. So P. Mironechenko's claims that our country and the Far East are riddled with tunnels are not without reason. And it is possible that this used tunnel leads further through Sakhalin to Japan. Now let's move to Western Europe, specifically the Tatrabeskid Mountains on the border of Slovenia and Poland, where Mount Babia stands 1,725 meters high. The inhabitants of the surrounding area have kept a secret connected to the mountain since ancient times. According to one of the residents, Vincent, in the 1960s, he traveled from the village to Babi Gorga at the request of his father. At an altitude of 600 meters, they pushed one of the protruding rocks to the side, creating a large opening into which a cart with a horse could freely enter. The oval-shaped tunnel was straight as an arrow, wide and tall enough to accommodate an entire train. The smooth, gleaming surface of the walls and the floor appear to be made of glass, which could have been of extraterrestrial origin. It was also completely dry on the inside. After a long journey through an inclined tunnel, Vincent said they arrived at a large hole shaped like a massive barrel. There were several tunnels in it, some triangular in shape, others round. According to Vincent's father, the tunnels can take you to different countries and continents from here. The tunnel on the left leads to Germany, then to England, and finally to the continent of North America. The right tunnel runs from Russia to the Caucasus, then to China and Japan, and finally to America, where it connects with the left tunnel. Other tunnels built beneath the Earth's north and south poles also connect to America. There are nodal stations along each tunnel. According to him, these tunnels are currently operational, and the locals have reported sightings of UFOs near them. Reports of secret tunnels have also been made in England, where miners heard the sounds of working mechanisms coming from below while driving in mining tunnels. The miners discovered a staircase leading to the well after piercing the rock mass, and the sounds of the working mechanisms became more audible. Nothing more is known about what they did after their discovery. However, it's possible that they stumbled upon one of the vertical shafts of a horizontal tunnel coming from Germany. The American continent is also rich in reports about the existence of ancient tunnels. Andrew Thomas, a well-known researcher, believes that ancient underground vertical and horizontal tunnels with burnt walls have been preserved beneath America, and that some of them are in perfect condition. The tunnels are straight and narrow and run the length of the entire continent. Mount Shasta in California is one of the junctions where several tunnels converge. Routes lead to the states of California and New Mexico. This is supported by the accounts of Iris and Nick Marshall, who penetrated a cave in the small California town of Bishop in a mountainous area known as Caso Diablo. The walls and the floor of this cave were unusually smooth, as if sanded to a mirror shine. On the walls and the ceiling, strange hieroglyphic letters were painted. The duo also reported that there were small holes in one of the walls, through which weak rays of light flowed. They heard a strange noise coming from beneath the ground, prompting them to flee the area. Had they unintentionally discovered a secret entrance to the underground tunnels which turned out to be operational? A huge hollow space, extending several hundred meters deep into the continent, was discovered off the coast of California in 1980. It is possible that the couple had stumbled upon one of the underground tunnel's key stations. The presence of tunnels is also supported by the fact that nuclear tests conducted at great depths at a well-known training facility in Nevada produced an unexpected result. What happened was 2 hours after the tests. A radiation level 20 times the norm was recorded at a military base in Canada, 2,000 kilometers away from the Nevada training ground. How could this be? It turned out that next to the base was a massive cave, which is part of the continent's vast network of caves and tunnels. Unfortunately, the full details of these nuclear tests have never been revealed. However, anthropologist James Mackin of Idaho managed to explore the large cave and advanced several hundred meters through a wide stone tunnel before being stopped by the unbearable smell of sulfur, the horrifying remains of human skeletons, and the strange noise coming from the depths. The ancient cave Sotano de las Golondrinas, located in one of Mexico's most desolate and sparsely populated areas, has a depth of more than 1 kilometer and a width of several hundred meters. Its sheer walls are perfectly smooth and flat, and its bottom is a true labyrinth of various rooms, passages, and tunnels that diverge in different directions at this depth. Are these also part of an intercontinental system of tunnel nodes? South America does not lack in terms of underground tunnels either. Professor Ivan Denikin recently discovered many kilometers of tunnels beneath the surface of the Nazca Desert through which clear water flows. Back in June 1965 in Ecuador, the Argentine explorer Juan Moritz discovered and mapped an unknown system of underground tunnels and ventilation shafts with a total length of hundreds of kilometers in the province of Morona, Santiago, under the cities of Calacas, San Antonio, and Yopi. The tunnel system's entrance appears to be a neat cut in the rock formations. The descent to a series of horizontal platforms leads to a depth of 230 meters. Moritz reported there are tunnels with rectangular cross-sections, varying widths, and 90-degree turns. The walls are smooth as if they had been glazed or polished, with strictly spaced ventilation shafts, and have a diameter of about 70 meters, with concert hall-sized rooms. It was discovered that one of the rooms had a table-like structure in the center, and 7 thrones made of an unknown material similar to plastic. Large gold cast figures of fossil dinosaurs, elephants, crocodiles, lions, camels, bison, bears, monkeys, wolves, jaguars, and even crabs and snails were discovered near the throne location. And the same room is a library of thousands of embossed metal plates measuring 48 to 96 centimeters and bearing various badges. Each plate is hand-stamped with an X. Moritz also discovered a stone amulet with the image of a man standing on a globe. The tunnels and the connected halls are littered with gold products, such as discs, plates, and massive necklaces bearing various drawings and symbols. The walls are carved with dinosaur images, and there are brick pyramids depicted on the plates. Bizarrely, the pyramid symbols are surrounded by flying snakes in the sky. Hundreds of such images have been discovered. Some plates depict astronomical and space travel concepts. Without a doubt, Moritz's discovery tells us much about the people that built the tunnels, their level of knowledge, and the era when this occurred. Keep in mind that there were images of dinosaurs. In 1976, a joint Anglo-Ecuadorian expedition investigated another underground tunnel in the Los Tayos region near the border between Peru and Ecuador. There they found rooms containing tables surrounded by chairs with backs taller than 2 meters and made of an unknown material. Another room had a long corridor with a narrow passage in the center, shelves brimming with ancient books, and thick folios containing 400 pages, each extended along its walls. It was clear that the designers meant for the tunnels and halls to not only serve for movement, but also as a long-term repository of valuable information. However, these structures had fallen into disuse many years ago. 5 years earlier, a caving expedition in Peru discovered caves whose entrances were blocked by rocky blocks. After overcoming them, the researchers discovered a massive hole at a depth of about 100 meters, the floor of which was laid out in blocks with a special relief. There were obscure inscriptions resembling hieroglyphs on the polished walls. Numerous tunnels branch out from the hole in various directions. Some of them lead to the sea, while others go underwater and continue to the sea's bottom. Many mysterious underground tunnels have also been discovered in Southeast Asia. The famous Shambhala is located in the numerous caves of Tibet, connected by underground passages and tunnels, with its initiates who have been sitting in the lotus position in them for hundreds of thousands of years, in a state of being neither alive nor dead. According to some researchers, these types of tunnels were used for other purposes, including preserving the Earth's gene pool and what they call fundamental values. Chinese archaeologists discovered a secret passage that led them to an underground labyrinth in Hunan Province, China, on the southern shore of Danjing Lake, southwest of Wuhan, next to one of the circular pyramids. Its stone walls were discovered to be very smooth and carefully crafted, giving scientists a reason to rule out natural origin. One of the many symmetrically located passages led archaeologists into a large underground hole with many drawings covering the walls and ceilings. One of the drawings depicts a hunting scene with creatures in modern clothes sitting in a round ship which looks an awful lot like a UFO. People armed with spears pursue the beast, while the superhuman flying above them aims at objects resembling guns. Another drawing shows 10 balls placed at different distances around the center, and it resembles the solar system, with the third ball Earth and the fourth ball Mars interconnected by a line in the shape of a loop. This indicates that Earth and Mars have some kind of relationship. Scientists have determined that the nearby pyramids are 45,000 years old, but the tunnels could have been built and used much earlier. In northwest China in the desert and sparsely populated areas of Qinghai province in the city of Exidam rises Baigang Mountain with nearby fresh and salt lakes. On the southern shore of the salt lake Tasan, a lone rock with caves rises 60 meters. In one of them, with smooth walls obviously human-made, a rust-covered pipe 40 centimeters in diameter protrudes obliquely from the top of the wall. Another pipe goes underground, and at the entrance of the cave, 12 other pipes of varying diameters from 10 to 40 centimeters are mounted parallel to each other. There are even more iron pipes sticking out of rocks and sand on the lake and nearby shores, with a diameter of 2 to 4.5 centimeters and oriented east to west. There are tubes with even smaller cross-sections, only a few millimeters. Such tubes were also discovered in the lake, either protruding or hidden in the depths. When the pipe's composition was examined, it was discovered that they contained 30% iron oxide, a significant amount of silicon dioxide, and calcium oxide. The composition indicates prolonged iron oxidation and a very ancient origin. All of these and caves and pipes have been suspected to be the remains of structures, possibly launching pads for rockets and spaceships erected in the distant past by representatives of an extraterrestrial civilization who are likely involved in the construction of underground tunnels around the world after they had been unable to leave Earth for some reason. Now everyone knows about the pyramids and ruins of ancient temples in Egypt's Giza. However, what many don't know is what lies under these ancient structures. According to recent scientific findings, huge unexplored underground structures are hidden beneath the pyramids, inside the plateau, and the network of tunnels stretches for tens of kilometers both towards the Red Sea and the Atlantic coast. And now, considering the findings of tunnel research in South America that goes beneath the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, could we say the tunnels from Egypt are heading in that same direction? There's also this fascinating geological feature in the Middle East, near Aleppo, which was given the nickname Failure by locals. This is a hilly, dry area, but as you approach one of the hills, you'll be astounded to see a huge cavity with sheer walls of up to 70 meters deep and 120 meters in diameter at the bottom instead of the top. How did this happen out of nowhere? According to the inhabitants, the failure occurred instantly in only one day long ago. At first, there was a hole with a diameter of about 10 meters at the bottom, which later widened. It became obvious that in order to have a failed rock volume, a cavity with at least 1.6 million cubic meters of soil should be beneath. Now, knowing the possible location of the network of tunnels around the globe, some of which are partly flooded, partly dry, partially destroyed, and partly used for covert movement of UFOs, imagine how the vest, whose owner apparently died from the Vershenskiie Strait, could have ended up where it was found. Would this not strongly point to the existence of an underground network of tunnels filled with water that flows northward? Is it possible that tunnels lead from this location on the Arabian Peninsula to the Caspian, where they connect to tunnels near Krasnodar, then to Rostov with branches to the Varennes region to Lake Endless, and then to the tunnel from the Tatra Mountains leading to the Volga region? Some of the tunnels reveal their ages. Some date back to very ancient times, more than 30 million years, and hence were already destroyed or partially collapsed as a result of cataclysms on Earth. Others are relatively young, less than 1 million years, are in good condition, and give clues that they were once used by aliens riding on UFOs. In addition, according to the drawings left on the tunnel walls depicting the combined actions of these superhuman and ordinary people, these tunnels were apparently created at an early stage in the development of mankind. Others show clear evidence that they were constructed by ancient people with highly developed civilizations who possessed high technologies that allowed them to build such engineering structures that stretched across vast distances. These underground tunnels could have also served as shelter in the event of a cataclysmic threat to our planet, where humans could safely retire and live until it was safe to venture out again. This is very likely, as we know that every 200 million years on Earth, global catastrophes occur, resulting in the extinction of up to 80% of the flora and fauna. The latest occurred just 30 million years ago as a result of the fall of regular asteroids. Smaller disturbances to Earth's life, such as the impact of small asteroids and the resulting earthquakes, tsunami waves, volcanic eruptions, surges and floods, which lasted thousands of years, have also shaped our planet in distinct ways. Perhaps ancient civilizations, knowing about such cycles and wanting to avoid their consequences, built a network of tunnels and underground structures throughout the Earth and took shelter in them so that their activities were not dependent on what was going on the surface. What do you think about these underground tunnels connecting different parts of the Earth? Let us know in the comment section. Thanks for watching.